Nice. So it's a good honor to talk to you.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I've followed you since the beginnings of Savatage.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. So you're a lifer then.
Oh, yeah.
You've been around since the dawn of the Sabotage days.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I actually lived in South Florida then.
Sticking around so long.
What's that?
Said thanks for sticking around.
Oh, for
so
sure.
long as a fan, you know.
Definitely. So yeah, it's finally we had a solo album out of you, huh?
Well, I mean, the solo album idea come from the loss of Matt LaPorte and
Right.
not really knowing what I wanted to do, and it really was born from tragedy, but it's weird how it came together, you know. With my friend Dan and stuff, we just kind of started hanging out after Matt passed away, and I guess in a way one thing led to another. You know, he's a guy who writes a lot of stuff, was never really a band guy or anything like that, and he had a bunch of great stuff that wasn't really finished, and I had a bunch of stuff that wasn't really finished, and we just kind of put it together, and it just started to fall together. And then when we added the Criss music, and we started working with that, then it really started to gel. And then that's when I made the decision that this is what we should do this like this, and not do it as a JOP record, because it really doesn't sound like a JOP record. And I wanted to try some other things. You know, I wanted to use real horn players. I wanted to play most of, all the guitar. I wanted to play the bass. You know, because I thought the music that we were doing suited my playing style and better than the guys that I've played with, on tour and stuff, who are all great players, but, they're hard rock, they're metal guys, and
right.
This stuff isn't really heavy metal, so.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting how that all kind of just sits down. It's got to be really satisfying for you to finally get to kind of just release a lot of that older type of music that's been sitting around that no one's heard yet, plus get to explore your own creativity without rules and regulations.
Well, it was very, it was a good thing, and it's a double-edged sword, because it was sad losing the rest, Criss's music.
Right.
This is the last of it. So, that was very emotional, knowing that, this was the last time I was going to be able to put something out that had my name and his name next to each other.
True.
And that was very emotional, but, I leaned a lot on this little guy here, Dan, and he helped me out a great deal, him and Criss Kinder, and, I needed a couple people to help me out, because I couldn't do everything myself.
Right.
I wanted to do the majority of it, and I wanted it to sound classic, like in that 70s style, prog 70s progressive music style. That's what I was looking for, and I just felt it was going to be a lot easier for me to do it than trying to teach it to somebody who's played nothing but Slayer and stuff like that their whole life.
Right. Yeah, so I took a listen to the album. I really like hearing the different elements of what's definitely your signature sound, but all kinds of new things that were definitely surprises. So it was really interesting to hear.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I wanted it to be like that. I wanted it to be very versatile, and the music that Dan brought to the table versus with the music that I brought to the table. A lot of the songs, we wrote a lot of songs, after Matt passed away, we wrote like 60 songs, so we had a big catalog of stuff to choose from when it came time to condense this down into an album.
Right.
We were working off of 2 song lists that had like 30 songs in each list, and, then we had to find what's going to work best with these Jon Oliva riffs we still have, and the hardest part of putting this album together was actually putting the songs, going from that list of 60 songs and condensing it down to 12 tracks.
Right.
That was a nightmare.
Oh, I bet. So is there any plan on finishing the rest of those?
Yeah, I think a lot of those things are going to come into play here in the upcoming years, and You know, there's a lot of great stuff there. There's a lot of movie soundtrack stuff. There's some great ballads. There's some great blues stuff. There's all kinds of stuff. That's what's cool about it. Is the songs that we have left? It's kind of like this album. Not one of them sounds the same as the other.
Right.
They're all very versatile and very different. And you know, I'm excited about that. You know, I think it's going to be cool. It's something I have now that I worked with Dan on. We have a catalog of songs. So maybe in between JOP records, I'll put out, you know, Oliva, instead of Raise the Curtain, maybe Oliva, Raise Your Rod. Here we go.
There we go.
Raise the Bathroom Curtain.
Right.
But I want to do something with those songs. I'm glad you asked that. Definitely. You know, we put a lot of time into it.
Exactly, yeah. So are you going to plan on maybe playing any of this live?
Yes. After Thanksgiving in the States. Where are you located?
Currently I'm in San Diego, California.
I used to live in Escondido.
Nice.
Yeah, I played my first concert ever in Escondido, California at the Boys Club, and it lasted 11 seconds. I walked up to the mic and I was holding the guitar and I got electrocuted and knocked unconscious.
Wow.
But,
welcome to the rock and roll.
Yeah, it was all in the name of rock and roll. So, other than that, you know, we're going to keep working away. We've got the JOP thing. I'm going out and doing like a storytellers thing after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And it's going to be the East Coast and the Midwest and up until right before Christmas. And if things go really well, I may bring it out west after New Year's.
That would be good.
I have a little time. I have like a 4 or 5 week down period after New Year's to go out and do some touring. So if everything goes well here on the East Coast and stuff, and I think it will,
yeah, then
we will bring it out west. And I'd love to come to San Diego. I haven't been there in a long time.
Nice. That would be good. So I've seen there's one.
That would be great, man.
Yeah. So I've seen there's one video so far for Father of Time.
Right.
Are you planning on doing more?
Well, actually, that's just a promotional video that the record company put together. I guess they call it lyric videos.
Right.
But we have a couple ideas that we're investigating. You know, maybe doing a couple of video things from off the record. But the record just came out, so we just want to, check it out for a week or so, take care of the press things, and then we're going to start thinking about doing something like that.
Right. Okay. So, on the next record, potentially, has all the music already been recorded or just written?
We're just starting to write it. We've maybe got 3 or 4 songs together right now.
Right, okay.
It's going to be very heavy and very dark, and that's what our goal is for this JOP record.
Right.
Something very, very heavy.
Nice. Okay. Give us a good balance.
I'm sorry, I missed that there. You cut out.
Oh, sorry. I said that would be a really good balance between the two.
Yeah,
the two sides. So, which track was the most difficult on Raise the Curtain to actually perform, either based on the content or?
Far the hardest.
I'm sorry?
The song, the actual title track, Raise the Curtain, was by far the hardest.
Okay.
Mainly because this little midget that I work with, his name is Dan, I insult him constantly. I've insulted this guy for hours right now, you know this.
Of course.
And he had this great thing, but we could never, no one could ever think of what to play guitars to. And I wasn't good enough to play the riff he was playing on the organ, so I kind of, well, listen, man, I'm the professional here. You just shut up, and I'll figure out something. And it took me months, and I finally came up with that guitar pattern that's on the actual album.
Okay.
It was so much different than the riff that he's actually playing on the organ.
Right.
If you listen to it, next time you listen to it, check out what I'm playing on the guitar and what he's playing. It's like 2 different songs, and we just kind of went, shoop, and it all fell together. It was like perfect.
Nice.
I was very happy about that. But that was the most difficult song.
That's very cool. So I noticed there's the release that we're looking at. It's got a little bonus track called "The Truth." What's that about?
That is the first. That song is the first acoustic guitar song that my brother Criss, and I ever wrote together.
Oh, okay.
The second one was "Out on the Streets" from Savatage.
Right.
And I put some. The only thing new about it is I put some lyrics to it and a melody line, and Danny played the accordion on it, and it was just one of those things that we wrote when we were very young, and I had totally forgotten about it until I heard it on this old cassette, and I was like, oh my God, I remember that.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that was a very special song too.
Cool. Yeah, it seemed to have that vibe, so.
Yeah, definitely.
That is awesome. So, what was the choice for the actual title track for titling it "Raise the Curtain"? Was that just the actual literal "you're lifting underneath to see what's behind the scenes," or?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I came up with the title, didn't I? Yeah, I came up with the title because we had the thing. It was mainly Dan's song, and then I wrote into it, so it became both of our songs because we added different pieces together, and I remember him saying, well, what should we call this, and what should we call it? And I was like, well, you can't really sing to this except we can do a little choir thing, and I was like, I need 3 words,
Okay.
4 syllables, raise the curtain, and I think one day I just said, let's try raise the curtain, and then it all went poof.
Nice.
We were like, yeah, that's the way to go, and I know it blew him away when I said, this is going to be the name of the album and the title track, and he was like, get out of here, really, man? You're going to... I was like, yeah, it's only going to cost you about $1,000, man.
Nice. So one of the things our magazine focuses on is we also get into the pop culture elements of life, video games, movies, TV shows, that kind of stuff. So what kind of things are you into when you're not creating music?
I watch a lot of Batman.
All right.
Early the 1960s Batman.
Yeah.
TV series. By far, the most ingeniously written TV show ever.
Right.
The jokes in there that you never got when you were a kid.
Exactly.
It's freaking funny. And the music that they have, this guy Nelson Riddle, who's the guy who did the music for all the Batman TV shows. And what's something I never got was that each villain has his own theme music.
Right.
When the Joker's in there, it goes... And King Tut's always...
Right, okay.
Yeah, so I just said, I like watching... I love the Stooges. Whenever I'm in a bad mood, I'll put on the Stooges or Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
I don't really watch... I'm not a movie guy. My attention level is very bad when it comes to that. Unless it's I like some comedy stuff. I like some Blazing Saddles and stuff like that. But I'm not really. I don't know. I just feel that my time is better served not sitting on the couch watching a movie.
Sure.
I let my wife do that.
All right. So our next question is actually for Dan. What was it like working with Jon on this album from a creative perspective?
Again, please, I couldn't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was it like working with Jon from a creative perspective on this album?
It was great. It was very creative, and we each got to share our hearts and souls together, write the stuff together, and it was an emotional roller coaster. It was really great, man, and it was all fun too. It wasn't like a hassle or anything. Right. And the icing on the cake was obviously, taking his brother's riffs, Criss, and incorporating them into songs, which that was probably the hardest part of the project.
Sure.
Putting everything together, but that was my pride and joy being able to do that.
Right. Awesome. All right, so I think we've pretty much covered what I wanted to know. Definitely, like I said, definitely loving the album. We'll work on getting the review out and published, and definitely looking forward to hearing more.
I really appreciate it. Thank you for the support, and stick around, man. If I ever get into the area in San Diego, you're my guest, bro.
Sounds good.
You take care.
All right, thank you very much. You too.
Bye.